No, that's not what. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to the Mamapreneur Podcast. I am your hostess with the mostest, Robbin. Thank you guys for joining me once again. This is episode number 26. Thank you guys that have been watching us for the past 25 episodes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this is your first time watching us today for episode 26, welcome. Welcome to the madness. No, just kidding, but welcome. And I have some fabulous guests tonight that we're going to showcase and promote them and their businesses. And before I even go into our guest, if you've watched before, you know that I give lots of instructions. So before we go any further, before I introduce the fabulous Christy, the cutie pie miles over there, we're going to have you guys share the live broadcast. So if you're watching us live right now on Facebook, I want you to share tonight's live broadcast. And then you're going to type in the comments for tonight's broadcast hashtag Mamapreneur. That way I know that you have shared. I'm always doing some type of giveaway each show. So make sure you're sharing. Sharing is caring. So, so I'll do the drawing after we're done. And if you are a winner, myself and anybody else that's doing a giveaway today will contact you and go from there. So first things first, share. All right. Next, if you're an entrepreneur in the audience, go into the comments section. That's YouTube or Facebook, and type in your link for your business, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, all the things, all the websites. Type that in the comments because I am into networking. And so that's how this podcast came about. And that's how we want to keep the party going. Network, network, network. All right. So also, if you are loving what Christy and I are talking about, or the next guest that's coming on, what we're talking about, feel free to chime in the comments. If you have a question for any of us, type it in the comments. I normally get to them during the show so you can hear it live. So make sure you type your questions in the comments. If you're feeling what we're saying, type it in the comments. Why not? So a little bit about me. This podcast has been around for a little over a year. I started this podcast as a way to give back, just like our fearless leader, who I give shouts out every episode, Kesha Kesh, gave me a chance to do this show. And I thought it'd be a great way to give back and to spotlight other women entrepreneurs and their businesses. Throughout the pandemic, more and more women of color businesses have been formed. In the past where we had 2.5 years now, almost 2.5 years since the pandemic began. And I love being able to help ladies get their name out there, get their brand out there, give them that little push that they need to get going. Even for the ones that they've never been on a podcast before, and we bring them on here. And after the fact, they love the experience and they go off to do other podcasts and public speaking and things of that nature. So you're hearing this from a person who is scared to do public speaking. Here we are. Welcome. So, so that is that. But a little bit about me. My name is Robbin. I am based here in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area, because we do have people that are not from the Dallas-Fort Worth area that watch the podcast. We moving and shaking all over the country, Christy. So welcome. I am a mommy to a 12, almost 13-year-old going on 49-year-old son. He is the joy and light of my life. I work in corporate full time, and I am an entrepreneur outside of that. I am a hairstylist. I sell paparazzi. If you can see the jewels real quick, ready for my close up of my jewels that we are wearing. What else? I recently started a salon coaching business, coaching entrepreneurs, salon owners, salon suite owners, and boutique salon owners and their businesses to be able to help them transform their businesses to the next level. I am excited about this journey. And been a Mary Kay consultant for over 14 years. And the list goes on. Now, if we can just win the lottery, amen. I got to play first, but if we can just win the lottery, that'll be great.
Got to play to win.
Yeah, got to play to win. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you all to Christy and Miles Black. So Christy, Miles and my son go to the same school and been friends for a few years. They're what I like to call bosom buddies. Their personalities are so funny when they're around each other, and Christy probably can attest to that. And Christy and I have been friends ever since. And I knew that Christy had a sign business. You see in neighborhoods now, everybody has their signs, happy birthday, whatever. And she is great at what she does. And I thought this would be a great time to give her some exposure for her business. And she's amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miles and Christy Black. So tell everybody about you, sister girl.
Oh boy. About us. Well, this is my son Miles, and he just turned 13 a couple of weeks ago, going on 42 as well. Our kids are friends, and that's how we became friends. And Miles and I are business partners. So Miles, during COVID, we were going back and forth to Denver to see his sister. And Miles decided to wanted to ask, he's full of questions. So he wanted to ask about business and how business works and what kind of business could he do. And he's very much his mother's child. So he's constantly thinking, and what can I do? And how do I make money? And he seems to think his age stops him, but it does not. So we talked about doing a business, and during COVID, I worked from home for probably about 8.5 years with a company. And so COVID, other than people being sick and things like that, I had already worked from home, so it didn't quite impact us on a work level the way that it did most people. But again, we traveled. My daughter lives in Denver. She's going to vet school. And so we did some traveling since it was just the two of us. And then his dad is here working in Dallas. And we've been in Dallas for about 30 years, I guess. And Miles and his sister are the only Texas kids. We are originally from Oklahoma. So, Miles is a true Texan. I can't tell you how that actually goes over in the family, but that's okay. We're okay with that. We do have on the front of our car, it does say house divided, OSU, OU, so we run the gamut. So, but anyway, so this is just, again, this is where I'm very entrepreneurial. I've had many businesses and restaurants, and I mean, just a gamut of different things. So
I love it. Love it. So OSU, Oklahoma, huh?
Yes.
Alrighty. So when that football game comes on, I can only imagine.
Oh yeah, it's a
Miles.
Yes, there's lots of phone calls. There's a lot of harassment that goes on. And my nephew just graduated from OU, and we're very proud of him. But I could only wear the colors in a hat. I couldn't wear the shirt. I can't do it. I tried, but
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I met someone recently where they went to Texas. Their
Uh-huh.
husband went to OU. And so I
Hmm.
was like, so Texas OU weekend.
Oh my.
That's
Yeah.
just a bunch of trash talk within
Like,
that time frame.
yeah.
Um, because of that
Yeah.
rival.
So absolutely.
Love it, love it, love it. So tell me what made you start Yard Card Queen, about the background of that. When did you start? How long ago did you start it?
It was about 2.5 years ago. The thought came up. Again, the thought was, it was during COVID. Miles's birthday was during COVID. We weren't sure, who would come, who wouldn't. We're not used to, you're not used to all of that. So I saw some cards and other people. I had seen some other signs, and I called and I said, "Hey, I'd like to have a birthday. We're going to have a birthday out celebration outside. I'd like to have one of the signs." The company was very, well, we're booked, and but I'll try to get to you, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were booked during COVID, but they got to us, and they did a sign, and we had the party, and I started to look at the sign, and I just looked at it, and it was cute. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't us cute. And so I was like, Miles, we could do so much better than that. And I don't mean to be like that, but it just really was for the money that you paid and for what you got. I was kind of, like, wow. So it kind of grabbed me for like 6 months straight. I was like, so I kept doing some information, some investigating. There weren't a lot of vendors. There weren't a lot of, there just wasn't a lot of information. So I just kind of left it because, like I said, I had a full-time job. There was a lot of the COVID stuff was going on. So Miles and I would go back and forth to see his sister, like I said, in Denver, and he kept asking questions about business. And I said, well, to be honest, I don't know how to teach you business without doing a business.
Exactly.
So that's how this came about. We decided to do a sign business. We didn't know what direction we were going to take. I wasn't able to get a lot of traction, which is, normally there's a lot of information about businesses and you can go do that. Well, it was fairly still new at the time.
Yeah.
The franchises were like, immensely expensive. It was ridiculous. And so I just kept going. Well, I happened to be on Facebook with a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and I noticed that her status had changed, and it said Yard Card Queen in Oklahoma. And I thought, well, that's strange. And so I just happened to ask her about it, and she said, oh my gosh, you would be perfect. You need to meet blah 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 blah. So I was introduced to a lady named Sarah, and Sarah was the person who actually came up with the name and the smaller company.
I love it.
Bigger companies. And so we just jumped on top of that and said, okay, we want to do this. And we made our first order, and we were able to make back our money within days. And so
Wow.
And so we've been doing this for 2 years now, and it has just, I can't even describe like what we thought it would be. It hits on every level. It's not just physical, it's creative, it's physical, it's money, it's everything. So and then it was good for Miles because Miles didn't have to interact with any adults. He could do everything from his phone. He can send thank you notes, he can do orders, he can print things, he can pull signs, he can do inventory, he can do all kinds of stuff, but he never has to be interactive with adults or anyone else. If we're out and about and somebody comes out and they talk to us, that's different. But I'm with him, but he didn't have to interact with anyone. And especially with COVID, you didn't want anybody interacting. So
Sure didn't.
yeah.
Come on, Miles. Come on, Miles, doing inventory.
Yeah.
And stuff. That's going to help you later in life. You know that? It's going to help you later in life. Go, Miles. Okay. So talk about the startup. So if someone wanted to become a franchisee and do what you do, because there's all these businesses that you can become a franchisee,
Right.
for. There's, they want all this money, and a lot of it is the name.
Right.
It's just the name.
Right. So Yard Card Queen has actually gotten to, well, what's funny is that here in Texas, we like everything bigger and better. So of course it's so many, we have so many people here in Texas. We all have different, we actually had Richardson and Plano and Denver, and because my daughter was there. So we thought, well, if they need extra money, we'll be able to give them, we'll be able to do these jobs and they'll have extra money. Who knew she was going to be that busy? But um, he went ahead and carved out some different cities that we wanted.
Okay.
And then so we have several yard card queens all over Texas. And then we also have all over the United States now. We even have
Okay.
yeah, you can actually go on the site and see where we're located. We're actually Yard Card Queen Richardson and surrounding areas. And so, but if you call me directly, email me directly, we normally get text or calls or what. If you do that, we go, I mean, Miles and I do all kinds of things. We just did like a golf tournament, that kind of stuff. So we do everything everywhere, but whatever it is, we populate. But yeah, we are actually all over the United States now.
Now,
So,
do they actually provide the items for you? You go out and purchase them yourself?
no, actually, we can actually go ahead and get started as far as, telling you what vendor to go to. That wasn't something that I had privy to before this.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's really kind of all set up, but you as the owner of your territory get to purchase from anyone. So we
Okay.
have of the other yard card girls that are around us, they have been invaluable. They're fantastic to work with as a group of collected women. Not all of them, I mean, a lot of them are teachers, a lot of them are so Sarah, like I said, she started this here in Texas, and she was she's an educator, she's a teacher, a coach, went to SMU, things like that. So she's really provided some good opportunities for whether it be stay-at-home moms, whether it be again teachers needing extra income
Oh,
um,
yeah. Yeah.
during summer with kids and so forth. I mean, it's just really provided a lot. I mean, but we have men too. It's not just women. So we have men, we have couples, we have retirees. I mean, it's just really turned into great opportunity for wherever you are in your life.
Now, how do you get leads for this kind of business? I asked that question because so many people are now doing signs. So how are you getting actual leads? So like your golf tournament, so on and so forth.
Well, you
How are
know,
you getting those?
the first year, just like any business, it's word of mouth. I mean, I had we owned the original fried pie place in Oklahoma City, and you've seen them around the Texas and Oklahoma, and we owned those privy to this, and we didn't do any advertising. It was word of mouth, which is the best, the
I
best.
agree.
But a lot of now our second year in has been, like I said, it is word of mouth. It is networking, like you say. It is, I mean, any business, anything you do, that is always the place to find your leads. Anything that I mean, anything that you are volunteering for, I mean, the first year we gave certificates to schools, gave discounts. We do like for schools, we actually do a give back program. So if the neighborhood around the school comes and purchases from us, we will give 50% of that back to the school that we're closest to. So if that's in our area, we give it back to, whatever school. At the time, Miles was in grade school, and we will present them a check at the end of the year or the end of the quarter. So just things like that, just getting your name out there, getting involved in events, any of the charity stuff that you can, we did a lot in the first year of giving a lot back. So giving back
Got
to
it.
community, just, I mean, it completely just, it comes back,
Now, do you just serve Richardson and Plano? We got some questions about what areas do you service?
Okay, well, like I said, if you call me specifically and directly, I can go anywhere. Anything we generate is our own.
Okay.
I'm actually in Richardson. I do a lot of Richardson, Plano. Like I said, we haven't We have another territory. We haven't opened that one yet. But yes, if you contact me directly, I can take care of anything that you need. And if it's too far away and I know another yard card girl, I will make sure you get the correct information so that we can take care of.
Okay, and then we have another question, which was my next question anyway.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the process of you. So someone places an order through you. They want to have you do their signs.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking, how does the yard signs work? If we hire you, do we keep the signs, or do you have to return them, or is it optional? That's the question.
Actually, there's two answers to that. The first one is yes, it is. They are rental signs. So if you contact me and say I have a sweet 16 birthday, we take your order. We give you information. You know, we have an information sheet that we have you fill out. I will text that to you, and that gives me the information, all the interests that your person has, like if they're interested in sports or, you know, singing or whatever it is they're interested in, favorite colors. We have some girls that like black, and we have some girls that love pink. So we like to get, you know, and we have boys that like cars, and we have some that don't like all that kind of stuff. So we like to have we give you as much information so that you can be as detailed as possible. So we'll try to accommodate any of those orders. So you contact me, I give you that order form, you do all of that. You let me know when you need it. We usually do it the night before, or we'll do it first thing in the morning, before they get up. So we try to do everything for a surprise, unless it's an event. If it's an event, then I will set up things with you. And now there are in some cases that some people can buy their event signs. Like I've done a golf tournament, you know, and they bought their signs, and we do that, and I'll go out and set it up. I've even come out the second year and set up, but they bought their sign.
Got it.
Those are big events, but for specific events, we go out. It is a rental service. We go out. It doesn't matter if it's a birthday. We have done birthdays. We have done cancer funds. We have done babies. We do anniversaries. We do welcome. I just did one for Lifetime Fitness, you know, for somebody who got a promotion. We do everything. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff that people have come up with. So we can customize it, or we can actually, and we'll get with you if you want a custom thing done, if you have a special event, or say somebody's going to college. Like we just got out of graduation, and I can't even tell you, we were so busy, and it was
I know you were.
It was so amazing. Very little sleep during graduation season. And we do graduations from literally kindergarten all the way to people that are getting their master's degrees. So we ran the gamut from doing kindergarten graduations all the way up to people that were 80 graduating. I mean, it was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's all right. That's a good problem to have.
It really was. It was great to see so many successes, no matter what age they were.
Now, do you have a favorite? Like, man, we did a good job on that one. I like that sign. We did a good job on that.
Lately, yes, I have had some amazing requests. I have had, I'll give you an example. My best friend was here for Mother's Day, and we've never gotten to spend Mother's Day together. And so she was here, and I got a request, just a last minute request, you know, hey, can you do this tomorrow? Lady called and said, I want to do a sign for my best friend. And I said, okay, great. What are we doing? She said, well, she just finished her last chemo, her last session. And I said, oh, wow. So she got to ring the bell. And she said, yes, well, we have that. We have all the cancer signs, and I had just actually purchased a bell. And so we did it covered her entire yard. And they said she was, you know, she had a nickname. And so we put the nickname in there, and that she kicked cancer's butt, and that she, a bell. I mean, it was just so great. So me and my best friend, she goes, can I help? And I'm like, absolutely. So she goes, she helps me. We do all this. I go knock. I don't know what possessed me. I never do this, but went and knocked on the lady's door. She came out. She tells me that she is one of three best friends, that one of her best friends, you know, had just bought the sign for her. One of three best friends. They all had survived cancer. All three of them.
Wow.
So that was just, I mean, me and my best friend are looking at her. She's taking pictures. She's calling her best friend on the phone. I mean, it was just amazing.
You probably just boo-hooing over there. You know, boo-hooing.
Yeah, just a great. We've had kids, we've had kids that have had, have fought cancer, have fought, different things. And we get those calls and it is just, it just makes it amazing. It really does.
Absolutely.
And it could be all kinds of different it could be different things. Like I said, it could be somebody just got baptized. We've got, I love the anniversaries. They've been married 60 years. I love that. So there's just so many, and there's a story to everything. The graduations this year were amazing. I have this year, our second year, have been so many return clients. We've been so blessed to have the return clients that we, and their stories, it's life like anything else. And we've actually had some pretty, heartfelt stories of, I did a sign for a lady a year ago, and it was just a regular birthday sign. And then this year I did her son's graduation, but her husband had passed away a month before that.
Oh
And
wow,
so
sorry.
yeah. And so like we made sure and did like a rose to represent his dad and the things that they did together. And we make him very personal. So I've learned a lot in the last, we've learned a lot in the last 2 years. Like I can ask Miles and Miles go, Mom, you can't put that there. Like he'll come up with stuff. No, this, a 12-year-old's not going to want that. They're going to want this, So we've gotten really good, but we learned something. We're constantly learning.
I was just gonna mess with Miles. So Miles, we got a fly in the house. Goodness, sorry y'all, fly in the house. That's live podcast for you. Where the fly says, "I want to be in the shot."
Yeah.
So Miles,
Mhm.
what is your favorite thing to do with the sign business? What do you like to do besides doing all the fun inventory? Because I know it's just so much fun for you.
Probably like picking up the signs and going wherever like she went the past day. So if like she went to, I don't know, downtown Plano, then I can go with her and then pick it up, and then we can like go out to eat or whatever.
You're gonna get fed afterwards. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll go pick up the sign.
Right?
We're gonna eat after. Sounds good, Miles.
Yeah. Sleep and repeat. Yeah. That and counting money. He likes to get paid is pretty much where that, yeah. He likes to get paid.
I'm not mad at you, Miles. Start early. I love it.
He's referring to, we went one time, it was winter, and we went out and we had to pick up a lot of signs up. But then we went to a pizza place downtown, and it's midnight, but we got to just sit and have a piece of pizza and warm up. But we had worked hard, and we like to travel and we like to do stuff, so we play hard too. So
yeah, I love it. Well, tell everyone how you can be reached. If anybody wants to book a sign with you guys, tell me how you can be reached so they can hear it from you.
Okay, well, your best way to reach us, honestly, is our phone number, to text us. I get tons of texts a day. It's just easier to interact with everyone. Then that way I can send you the forms to fill out. And like I said, we do all occasions. We also have Richardson at yardcardqueen.com. So you can go there as well. And like I said, if you're out of state, I can make sure you get to the right Yard Card Queen. And if you're here in Texas and you're further than I can get to, then I will be happy, like I said, to put a Yard Card Queen with you that can take care of you. But yeah, just I would do those two things. Text me, like I said, call me. I actually do have to answer my phone when it's an odd number because I don't know where those calls come from.
You have a business, yes, ma'am. I have to do the same. Yes,
We do get a lot of out of state calls to do yard cards here for other people, whether it's family or things like that. They'll buy yard cards to have them set up here for people. So
you have Denver too, right?
I'm sorry.
You have Denver too, right?
Yes.
For the Denver folks out there.
We actually haven't opened yet, but as soon as we do, I'll make sure and post it on our site, or you can text me and I can definitely, like I said, make sure that I find out your dates and get back with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's been a blessing, and we thank God for everything every day. And Miles's dad, Richard, has helped us tremendously. He actually has had to do quite a few yard cards when I'm otherwise detained, and he's actually learn, and I am so impressed with that. So I've left here, and Miles and his dad have actually just had to do the signs without me, and they've done a great job. So
love it. Keeping it in the family. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Christy and Miles.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. And guys, if you are interested in booking with Christy, please reach out to her. Her information is in the comments section. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Give some hand claps in the chat for Christy and Miles. That's what I love. Family business, family business. So as we're waiting on my next guest to come on, I'm going to go ahead and go into some affirmations before we get into Miss Francesca Lister. So if you've watched the show before, you've seen where I've done affirmations. I believe in the power of speaking positive things into your life, and positive things will happen in your life. So if you are into that kind of thing, get a pen and some paper and feel free to jot these down. And hopefully they will bless you like they have blessed me. All right. First one is I radiate confidence and positivity. I radiate confidence and positivity. Okay. I will celebrate all wins and things that are going in my favor. I will celebrate wins, all wins, and the things that are going in my favor. So all wins, no matter how big or small. Okay. Next one is I am resilient and strong enough to get through any obstacle. I am resilient and strong enough to get through any obstacle. Okay. Success, prosperity, and happiness flows into my life easily and effortlessly. Success, prosperity, and happiness flows into my life easily and effortlessly. All right. Next one. I am trusting the process and that all of my hard work will pay off. I am trusting the process and that all of my hard work will pay off. Okay. I believe in sudden miracles and unexpected blessings to come my way. I believe in sudden miracles and unexpected blessings to come my way. All right, got a couple more. My business is blessed and it will prosper. My business is blessed and it will prosper. And lastly, my brand will become $1 million business. Say that a little louder for the people in the back. My brand will become $1 million business. All right. Well, that's it for the affirmations. I hope that these were a blessing to you like they were to me. And don't be afraid to say these, especially in times that you feel like you need a little bit of encouragement. Okay. All righty. Our next guest is the fabulous Francesca Lewis Lister. Francesca, whenever she pops up, is a good friend of mine. She is my care partner at church. So on previous shows, you've seen ladies that I am their care partner, and Francesca is mine, and she's thebomb.com. And so it's been great building a relationship with her all this time. And Francesca and I were just having a conversation one day, and she tells me that she's writing, well, she's written a book, she's written a devotional. It's called the 21-Day Devotional ARC, Create an Encounter. And so I had mentioned to her we should have her on the show. And she told me pressure. And I was like, okay, it is what it is, have you on the show, get your pinky toe out there. And so here she is, and she's going to tell you all about her amazing devotional, and then we're going to chat after that. So Francesca Lister. Yay!
Thank you, Robbin. Thank you so much for having me. As she stated my full name, Francesca Lewis Lister. I am a wife. My husband and I have been married for 13 years. I am a mom of 3 daughters, twins age 10, and a baby girl is age 8. A little nugget that most people don't know about me is I am also a pastor's wife. So my husband pastors a small church in Carthage, Texas. I am a nurse. I am a lover of God. I am a daughter, a sister, a friend, and an aunt. And I am so grateful for this opportunity. The book is called, as Robbin stated, 21-Day Devotional. It's an ARC. It's Create an Encounter. And it came by way of a painful experience, a surprising experience. So everyone has stories of how they made it through the pandemic, how they crossed over from the pandemic. December 8th, 2020, I think for me is one day that I'll never, ever forget, because it's where not just my life, but my siblings, my mother's life, my kids, nephews, all of our lives were changed forever. It's the day that we lost my father. And that's a pain like I have never, ever felt before. It's a pain that I've never, ever imagined. And so, we lost my father, something that I couldn't fathom. I couldn't understand why God allowed this to be. Couldn't find any rationalization, couldn't find reasons why. Scriptures weren't helping me. Nothing in that moment was helping me to understand why God allowed my father to be taken away. So you're dealing with hurt, you're dealing with anger, you're dealing with frustrations of not knowing why, you're trying to figure out what to turn, you don't know what to turn, trying to figure out what to pray, have no clue on what to pray. In that moment, didn't want to talk to God, didn't really want to hear from God, because I felt that I was right and that I was justified to be angry with him because he took something precious away from us. And he wouldn't tell me why. He didn't tell me why. Didn't give me any pre-warning. So, as time is going on and life continues to happen, because that's what it does. So as life is continuing to happen, I'm finding that I'm losing myself. I'm spiraling. I am in a state of depression. So not only am I angry and I'm still dealing with the frustration, I'm still deep in my grief, but I am depressed. I'm not eating. I have no interest in life. I have, as far as I can see, no real reason to push, no real reason to thrive, because I'm really at a loss. I go to see my general practitioner and, I get put on different types of medications because I'm just really not dealing with this aspect of grief. So, getting put on all the antidepressants, I go and I get enrolled in counseling because, okay, maybe, talking it out will help. And it did, gave me a lot of clarity. So I enroll in with a counselor on 101, and I was like, I still need more. And so I enrolled into a group grief counseling where it's different people and we rally around one another and we just support one another. And we try our best as we know how to pour into one another. But even in the midst of all of that, I still felt something was missing. Yeah, the counseling was great, the group counseling was great, but there was still a missing piece, something I still was not being fulfilled, still was not getting the answers that I needed. Something still was not there. And so I had this pull in my spirit, to dig into my word. And so at that moment, I began digging into my word. I began crying out to God. I stopped fighting against God, and I, began to position myself at his feet, and I took his word back to him, that how in my hard times, in my difficult times, he promised that he wouldn't leave me, that he wouldn't forsake me. He promised that he would be there. He promised that he would comfort me. So I took all of that back to him, and, it obligated him to show up on my behalf. And so, moment by moment, bit by bit, I began to feel my strength become renewed. And so I would curate these daily devotionals, and it started really small, and I would just send it to my immediate family. And I said, because I know that if it's strengthening me, and if it's helping me, and if it's uplifting me, then for sure it can be a blessing to my family, because we're all struggling right now. We're all going through right now. We're all just kind of hitting our head up against the wall, continuing to look for answers. Yeah. And so each day God spoke to me, and he gave me something, not that would get me through weeks ahead, but something that would get me through that moment that I was in, that right now word that I needed in that moment. And so he gave it to me. I meditated on it. I prayed on it. And then I would, send it through text message to my family. And, pray. My prayer and my hope was that it would bless them and that they would be strengthened by it. I did not know that in doing, all of these devotions and taking a deep dive in his word, that he was birthing this devotional out of me. And so it was almost like one day when the devotionals did come to an end, it's like God was like, well, that's not the end, because, you have to birth this book. And so it was through that painful experience that this 21-day devotional, the arc, was birthed. It was through that painful experience that this came about. So it was in those moments that I had to decide, and I had to make the decision to say, hey, you can continue to wallow in your pain. You can continue to allow depression to overtake you, or you can get up, you can fight back, and you can do something with your pain. You can, purpose your pain. You can put it to work, and you can allow your story to help somebody else, because we all experience loss. We all go through, and whether it's different types of loss, my hope and my desire is that through that devotional, you find a nugget, you find a scripture, you find a verse or something that's there that will help pull you through in that moment. You'll find the comfort that you need in that devotional. So of course it's done in honor and in dedication to my father, because my father was an avid devotional reader, avid Bible reader, avid studier of the word. It was nothing for him to go on his walks in the park and he'd have his Bible with him and he's reading and he's highlighting his devotionals. So it's something that he left, and, God saw fit that it's something that I pick up and that I carry it on, because he knew that somebody was in need of what I have. So if I hadn't done it, the word would not have gotten out there, and others would not have been able to be blessed by what it is that I've gone through, what my family has gone through, as painful of an experience as it is, because it continues to, to be painful in moments and in times today. Somebody else can still be blessed by it.
Yes, ma'am. And through that process, okay, so let me show the book first. You guys can see that. I love a good devotional, by the way, and so this was great. So talk about the process. So I know writing these was not always easy. So talk about which devotional, which day you was in the middle of writing and you was like, you know what, I'm about to put this down for a minute. I'm about to put this down. Okay, Lord.
So let me see.
And then I'm gonna say what my favorite ones so far, because she got some good ones, and we'll talk.
To have to write about triumph And the funny thing with triumphant and it being the first one, how can you write about being triumphant and that's not what you feel, that's not what you can see, that's not, I'm like, that's not what I want to hear, that's not what I want to believe. But regardless of whether it was something that I wanted to believe, it was God's word, and it was his word, and he knew that even though I couldn't see it in that moment, he knew that it was something that I was still going to need. I feel like he allowed triumphant to be to set the stage for the rest of the book, because if I couldn't see past that, then it wouldn't have been anything else. But I had to know that it was something that I would get through and that I would get over, no matter how bleak the days may look, no matter how dark, no matter how trying, no matter how many tears I shed in trying to get through that. I was still victorious. I was still triumphant because God was for me. He was reminding me that, hey, I'm with you. I got you. When you can't lift yourself up, I got you. I'm carrying you. Like, you got this. May not seem like it, may not feel like it, but all you got to do is take it bit by bit, take it moment by moment, and you will win.
And give it over to him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Give it over to him. He can
you
do
have to.
You can.
You have to.
That's one reason why I love affirmations so much, being able to speak life, because even in those times, what you just said, even in those times where you may not quite feel like it, you just speaking it out there and putting it out there, that's helping you get through the day. That's helping you get through whatever the situation is. And so I love this book. So we're going to talk real quick. So she just mentioned one. So she mentioned, okay, so each day has a title, has some word in there. So you got a scripture, and then she has a devotional. And I love a good one that you can write. And she has a reflecting moment. You can write your reflections from each day. I love it. I love a good devotional, because there's so many different ones out. Like yours is a 21 day. And we're going to believe a 365 day for you in the future. I just spoke that out for you, man. All right. So we got some cool titles. Don't Be Shook. Talk about it.
Yes. Don't be shook. Like, life is full of surprises. But the amazing thing about it is that even though those things come to surprise us and they may catch us off guard, they never catch our Father off guard. They never, ever catch him by surprise. And in writing Don't Be Shook, one of the other verses or passages of scriptures that I kept going to, and even to this day, I lean into that, is Romans 8, 26 through 27. No, I'm sorry, 26 through 28. And the latter part of 28 talks about how we know that all things work together for the good of those who believe, who love God, and are called according to his purpose. Mm-hmm. Well, the more that I took a deep dive into it as I was, studying, I'm like, Lord, you cannot tell me that you're able to take this messed up situation and make it work together for your good. Like, this has thrown me completely off my rocker. So I don't even see how that even makes sense. But when you take a deeper dive into that, and you take a deeper look into that scripture, he's saying, when you look at the word good, we think of it in the sense that, it's going to feel good. We're going to be happy. It's going to be happy-go-lucky. No, it's not. He said that, all things working together for your good. It doesn't mean that things are going to be painless. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happy all the time. It doesn't mean that you're not going to go through the mud, that you're not going to, get your head, knocked up, get knocked upside the head sometimes because of the things that life throw at you. But don't be shaken. Don't be taken off guard, because regardless of what's happening around you, all of it is going to work together for your good, and so that I can be glorified. So what I had to understand is that, things that happen in life that come to try to, take our focus off of God, try to pull us away from him, we can't allow that to shake us. We can't allow it to deter us. Can't allow it to attack our faith. So when challenges happen, frustrations happen, and derailments, as they will sometimes happen, it's not, to stop us in our tracks, but it's for our growth and it's for God's glory. And so that's when we have to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stand flat footed. I'm going to stand square shouldered. I'm going to look the devil in his eye. I'm telling him to back off, because I'm not going to be shaken. I got this. Again, and if I need another reminder, I go back and I remind myself that I am triumphant and I got this.
Hold on. And then let me get my last one I'm going to talk about, because you got to get the book. You got to get the book to see the rest. All right. God reliant. I said, okay. Just tell us about ourselves. God reliant.
I mean, like, if you just listen at it, God reliant. And I like to take the words and I like to look at them and break them down. How many times do we rely on ourselves to get things done? How many times do we put that ultimate confidence in ourselves to make things happen? And God is like, hey, well, what about me?
Over here.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm here. I want to be a part of what you got going on. Maybe, you can consider my way. But no, we think that we are, let me not say we, let me speak for Francesca. Francesca thought she had it all figured out.
Yeah.
Francesca thought that, she knew what needed to be done, when it needed to be done, how it needed to be done. She didn't feel like she needed any of what, God was trying to do or what he was trying to offer, especially if it was going to bring more discomfort and if it was going to bring more pain, if it was going to add to her grief. Oh, that wasn't it. I said, oh, that's not for me. He must got me confused because that's not in his will for me, when it's the exact opposite. And so I had to, like, okay, you know what? You got to sit down, Francesca. You got to sit down and you got to take that word, which and you got to let it stand up in you. Stop relying on yourself. Stop picking up stuff that you were not meant to carry, that you weren't meant to deal with, and put your full weight, put your full reliance in God and in who he is. Yeah. Now you tell others all about who he is, but who is he to you? Who do you need him to be to you in that moment? And, and in knowing that and in declaring that, know and remember that anything that you go through, any pain that you feel, any trauma, any hurt, none of it is wasted. None of it is wasted. But in order for it not to be wasted and in order for us to experience his glory together, we've got to be fully reliant on him and on who he is in every situation. No matter how big, no matter how small, in every situation, put your full weight on him.
And meanwhile, while you over here trying to do it your way, God is just sitting there waiting like, all right, she gonna come around to me at some point. You over here,
the long way around too.
I'm gonna wait on you. I'm waiting on you to just, come on around. You over here doing stuff the long way by yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on over here. I know my way is better than God's, and God is over here like, okay, I'm gonna let you think that.
Like he confused.
Let you have it, and you'll come back to me because he always has a way of showing us that we do not run the show. He does.
Yes.
Pandemic taught all of us that. Taught everybody to get somewhere and have like 5-6 seats just alone. Yes. Those who thought they ran something, those who thought that they had the power of their lives in their hands. God said, all right,
I'm gonna shut the whole thing down.
He shut us out. He made us all get somewhere and sat down. Literally. Tell everybody how they can purchase your book, how you can be reached. If you want some of these good gems, you guys better buy that book. The book is we're doing some giveaways of the book tonight, so make sure you're sharing. But not only just look out for the giveaway, support Francesca. Come on.
Yes, the book is available on Amazon. It's on, and you can also get it in the paper book format or on Kindle format. It's also available on Google Books. And then I also have some hard copies for those of you that are Shreveport, Bossier, Mansfield, Louisiana area. I have some hard copies available on me. With the hard copies that I do have on me, I go before God and I seek him on what it is that I need to put in there. In addition to the, different nuggets and gems that you're getting out of the book, I go to God so that you'll have a special curated message in there from you so that you can be reminded of how much he loves you and how thankful I am for the support. Because it's not about me, but it's about the honor and the glory of God. And I want somebody else to be healed and somebody else to be blessed. So please, when you do purchase the book, if you've already purchased the book, read the book, please go leave a review, and let's help spread the word. Literally.
Amazing.
WORD.
Yes, literally. Thank you so much, Francesca, for coming on. I'm just glad that you were able to come on, shed a light on your story about your dad. Your husband is in the other room cheering you on. That's what I'm talking about, husband, pastor. So real quick before we wrap up, few things. So again, if you've shared the live broadcast, I'm going to do a drawing after tonight's broadcast, and myself or Francesca will reach out to you about your prizes. So sharing is caring, and make sure you type hashtag Mamapreneur in the comments so we know who shared. Okay, and you can get entered into the drawing. All right. Also, make sure you make your way to Mamapreneur podcast.com and get your merch. Amen. We are investing, we are owning, we are building. We even got my logo on the side. My name is Robbin. I am your model today. Yes, we have them in all colors, different sayings. Make sure you head on down, skedaddle on down to the website to support your girl, support the cause. Also, I talked about it on the last episode. If you are wanting to do some affiliate marketing, if you're don't have time to be a guest on the show, but you would like for me to promote your brand, please reach out to me directly or Power Team, and I can provide more details from there. It's a way to get your business out there and not physically having to be on the show. All right. Lastly, I have 2 events coming up. One is going to be a podcast appearance. Someone's interviewing me, y'all, for an event that I am doing next Saturday. I'm going to be on this Fishbowl Radio on June 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then also I am a part of a vendor event, Greenwall Street, on July 2nd in Dallas at Lofty Spaces. Please go to the website, as it's an Eventbrite link that has been posted. Make sure you go, you check me out, check out other entrepreneurs that are local. Let's support our local small businesses, guys. Somebody had to start somewhere, including little old me. I'm the little people, including little old me. So please make sure you come out July 2nd, Lofty Spaces. Kesha has posted the link for us. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight and supporting us tonight, supporting Christy. Thank you, Christy, for coming. Thank you, Francesca, for coming on. Make sure you're following the Power Team platform for updates on upcoming shows. And you guys have a blessed Thursday, and we will see you later.